Okay, families always give thanks and praise to your creator. Whoever you might conceive your creator be for me in the day above this ground. A beautiful day. Let me jump right into this one here because this one got me thinking here to what's really going on with this thing here. So look at this here. You got the top 100 land makers in America that own 33.3 million acres of land. They own approximately 2% of the U.S. land mass. You got what the man called, again, Bill Gates, own about what? 100 million acres of land. Then you got Amazon, Jeff Bezos, own about for what 4.100 million acres of land. I mean, what these people trying to do with this land? And then they can tell that what? That the earth is overpopulated? But if you got all this farmland and no person live on it, but you can tell me the earth is overpopulated, what are you going to do with all that land? Well, I know you're going to plant your GMO seeds. That we know for sure. You know you're going to know that farmers are complaining that when your truck pass by and your seeds blow off your truck and go on their farm and produce GMOs, they can sue the farmers for the seeds that blow on their farm and growing GMOs, but the farmers can't sue them. We know that happened before. That when their truck pass by and the wind blow their seeds off the truck and it go to farmland and it grows GMO foods or fruits. And like you said, the GMO fruits only produce one season. You got to buy it every year. It's not continuously like how it was back in the day. When you plant it every year, it comes back again. No, the GMO of seeds, it only grows for that year. You got to buy again next year. And they keep saying every year the seeds keep going up. So, and then they can tell you that they want to decrease your population from 7 billion to 500 million, but they got what, 33.3 million acres of land. I just pray every day, bro, that the Creator will come for this land, wipe every person off, make every person one color, same size, same height, and see if they can still complain. Because the way that it's going, and I don't like to bring in negativity, I do not like to speak about negative stuff, but they just have to make you think, what are they going to do? Well, I got a little call I get here from having my car window down. No, I had on a hidden call, so I'll give you a little head call, but I got there's some Vicks here, trying to make my voice a little better. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. But I don't know, folks. I don't know. All I can say is that, listen, try to save up your natural seeds if you can get them, and plant your own stuff because it's going to come to that. And like I said, I don't like to be negative, but they have nothing to do with negativity. It has to do with survival and how you want to survive the few years you have on the planet. Because the way that they are thinking, they don't want you to survive on this planet living naturally. They want you to live artificially. Anyway, folks, them is the non-organic people or the non-whole wheat people. On that note, folks, don't mind what they're doing. You still keep being love, appreciative, honest, fair, just, compassionate, giving, caring, humble, and don't care what they do. As long as you have love in your heart, because that's all that the Creator knows, if everything will work out for you. So be as loving and as kind and as giving as possible. You have to know what's going on. You can't be in the dark. You have to know what's going on. So when you know what's going on, do not let it get to you. Do not whatever it is, do not let it get to you. Try to look past that and look on the bright side of life, and it will always work out for you. I am living proof of that. Until folks, I love you guys now. If no one ever told you they love you, I'm making some person do, but this little guy here, I love you guys now. Until then, peace out. One love.
Has investment in GMO crops, seed patents, synthetic foods, artificial
This is Bill
intelligence,
Gates.
including robotic farm workers, and commanding positions in Coca-Cola, Unilever, Philip Morris, Kraft, General Foods, Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, and Amazon, and in multinationals like Monsanto, Bayer, that market chemical, pesticides, and petrochemical fertilizers. Gates also has massive stakes in the oil majors Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, and Shell. He owns the world's largest private jet company and his investments in coal-generating fleets, including the Canadian National Railway and CSX Richmond.
The study from the More Prosperous Life.
Vandana Shiva Manu Hero warns American farmers already drowning in debt to be very wary of Gates' promise to throw them a line. When Bill Gates forced his rescue technologies on Indian farmers, the only one to benefit was Bill Gates and his multinational partners. He gave money to the government and a company called Digital Green and made extravagant promises to digitally transform Indian agriculture, then with the cooperation of his purchased government officials.
And it raised nutrition levels, it reduced poverty. It was one of the great breakthroughs of all time. Now we need to bring that advance to Africa.
Let's see how that worked out. In the year 2000, Bill and Melinda Gates launched the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, promising to double crop productivity and boost incomes for 30 million small farms by 2020, while cutting food insecurity in half.
There's no doubt that a combination of better seeds and better inputs, including fertilizer, can raise African agricultural productivity.
A 2020 study, The False Promises, the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, concluded that the number of Africans suffering extreme hunger increased by 30% in the 18 countries that Gates targeted. Rural poverty has metastasized dramatically, and the number of hungry people in these countries has risen to 131 million. When cell phones were distributed among Indian farmers, Bill Gates put cameras and electronic sensors in the homes and fields of Indian farmers. He used their cell phones, which he gave them for free, and his fiber optics and 5G installations, which he persuaded Indian telecom company to finance, to catalogue, study, and steal farmers' crop data, indigenous practices, and agricultural knowledge for free. Then he sold it back to them as new data. Instead of digitally transforming farms as he promised, he transformed Indian farmers into digital information. He privatized their seeds and harvested the work of the public system. He ripped out their knowledge assets and heirloom genetics and installed GMO seeds and other ridiculous practices. Shiva adds his clear agenda was to drive small farmers from the land and eventually mechanize and privatize food production. Comments from some of you that are farmers. Chase Autry says, I actually farm up in North Texas. We mostly grow cotton in this area. When Vandana Shiva talks about taking control of seeds, it reminds me of Roundup Ready cotton. It started off as great, but now plants are starting to get resistant. You can't collect your seed for next season, forcing you to buy new seeds every year. Seed prices are increasing at an alarming rate. Julie Selden says, I'm a farmer in the US, I buy non-GMO seeds and plant them. Should a bee land on a GMO plant and then land on my plant, it will cause my plant to produce GMO fruits and vegetables. Since I did not pay for a GMO seed, if they find my plants at GMO Monsanto, they can sue me, taking everything I have. However, I can't sue them for when my crop turns GMO. These people are pure evil. Those are your words, Julie Selden, not mine. Scott Cole says, I live in Lancaster, PA. I'm surrounded by Amish and organic farms. None of these things are happening here, hence the reliance on local food sources is paramount.
The initial research is done by a Gates-funded institution. The media reporting on how well that research is conducted is done. The media outlet is a Gates-funded outlet, and maybe a Gates-funded journalist from a media program, and then the program is implemented more widely by a Gates-funded NGO. I mean, there are some very insular circles here.
Bill Gates has giant stakes in Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook, and has given $250 million in grants to media outlets, including NBC, Universal, the BBC, NPR, Le Monde, and The Guardian. Grants, that sounds like donations and providing funding. You know that the mainstream media is in urgent and desperate need of funding, and I wonder what kind of coverage they will afford to people that make such significant donations. And you can decide for yourself whether or not that would likely bias the kind of reporting that would take place.
Critics of Mr. Gates ask whether it's right that one foundation with more money than entire African countries should wield so much power and influence.
Probably no one in the world is better positioned than Bill Gates to create a real positive difference. I sincerely hope that is the intention of Bill Gates, because with those resources, that amount of power, that amount of farmland, that amount of influence over the media, that much assets in the tech world, in the oil and energy industry world, there is a considerable influence and certainly power to change things. So We better pray that Bill Gates' intentions are good. If you enjoyed that video,